From family events to volunteer opportunities to community happenings, there is a lot going on in your community. Learn about all the possibilities and opportunities on this episode of Community Hotline.
Hi, welcome to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel, and we're here in Gresham at Metro East Community Media. Don't forget, Community Hotline is on Facebook, and we also have a Community Hotline blog, so be sure to check us out. Be part of the conversation. Tonight, I'm happy to introduce you to Ann Goldfeld. Annie is with Northwest Veg. Nice to have you here, Annie.
Thank you for having me, Monica.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Now, Northwest Veg has been on before, but not with you, so you're going to bring a little different aspect of it to our viewers. But why don't we start out by telling me a little bit about Northwest Veg, what its mission, what you're all about.
Sure. Well, Northwest Veg's mission is to educate and encourage people to make plant-based choices for a healthy, sustainable, and compassionate world.
Wow, you know that one. You've got that one down well. That's very nice. It's, I mean, obviously very worthy goals. I think people are finally becoming more accepting of a more plant-based diet. I know years ago when my daughter became a vegetarian, and she's 28 now, when she was 12 she decided to become a vegetarian, and it was very difficult for her because people, especially adults at that time, thought she wouldn't be getting good enough nutrition. They thought that, you know, it wasn't a healthy lifestyle for her, and it was very hard to work with it, but it's becoming so much more accepted, and veganism is much more accepted now. But my understanding is that Northwest Veg helps people on any part of the continuum. Is that correct? Whether or not?
That is correct.
Okay, so
we're welcoming of everyone, whether you've been a lifelong vegan or whether you are a carnivore and just, you know, looking for a new meal plan to add to your diet.
That's great. And I think that's what I like best about Northwest Veg is that because I am pretty much an omnivore, I guess, but because I do like to eat just about everything, but I am leaning more toward plant-based diets, and I think I was starting to mention to you, I do my meatless Mondays with my daughter, and trying to eat more that way. But it is a lot more accepted now. It's a lot easier, and I like the fact that I don't feel ostracized by an organization like yourself for not being a strict vegan or a strict vegetarian.
Right, and we recognize that you may not make the decision to become a vegetarian or to become a vegan or to label yourself as such, but every plant-based meal choice that you make makes a difference for your health, for the environment, and for animals.
Three big things.
Yes.
Give me just before we go into anything else about Northwest Veg, give me a little synopsis, if you will, about how more plant-based diet affects health, just to start with.
Okay, well, that's where most of the attention has been in the media these days. We've found that countless studies have shown that our leading causes of death in the United States, heart disease, cardiovascular disease, cancers, are all influenced by diet. Consuming meat, consuming a diet high in fat, consuming an unbalanced diet are all contributors to all of these leading causes of death.
Right. So having a more plant-based diet is obviously, and making sure you get, you know, enough of everything that you need to have.
And the movie to see is Forks Over Knives. We did have a pre-screening here in Portland, and so the movie is opening now in other parts of the United States, and it's not going to be back in Portland, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
But when it comes out on DVD, if you didn't see it in Portland, it's a must-see.
Yes. Get it on your Netflix order or whatever.
Right.
So, okay, so health, that's obvious then. What about the environment? How does that, I mean, I know I'm only giving you time to say just a little bit because you could talk for hours probably on the subjects of health and the environment, but how does having a plant-based diet help the environment?
Well, basically there's studies that show, and we talk about this in our Master Vegetarian Program class and also in our Veg 101 classes, that the greatest thing you can do to combat global warming is change to a plant-based diet. A meat-free, animal-free diet affects global warming a whole lot more than driving a Prius, choosing to drive a Prius instead of a gas guzzler. So when you're looking at where you should make your change, if you want to have the most impact, eating meat-free is the way to go.
Okay.
Even more so than a 100% local diet.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. You know, the raising of, say, of beef cattle and all that, just everything that goes into it and transporting it and everything that goes into it, it leaves a huge carbon footprint.
Exactly.
What was the other thing? We had the health.
Animals.
Oh, the animal. Right, of course. So like that was the reason, the main reason my daughter first became involved in becoming a vegetarian, of course, at age 12, and started thinking about those poor animals and realizing where your food comes from, and then moving over toward health and the environment also. So obviously.
Well, clearly every animal that you don't eat is an animal's life that you have saved.
Right.
But what a lot of people don't realize is that even the egg and dairy industries are harmful, are cruel to those chickens and cows. Again, another topic that we cover extensively in our Master Vegetarian Program and our Veg 101 classes. There's the Humane Society of the United States right now has initiatives to ban battery cages in Oregon and Washington.
I've read some about that recently.
So yes, and it's not the cheeriest subject to talk about, but you can see the PowerPoint presentations from our Master Vegetarian Program online if you wanted to see some images of what we're talking about.
There's some pretty horrible things that happen to animals, and I figure if people want to, this is just my own personal opinion, not the opinion of anybody else but myself, but if people want to continue to eat meat, then it seems like for those people, the focus should be on trying to have at least humane, I don't know if that would be the right word for it, conditions for the animals. I mean, at least don't torture them like some of them are, cutting the beaks off the chickens and things like that. It's upsetting.
Right.
It's awful.
Well, I really see it kind of all, our health crisis, the cruelty to animals, our environmental crisis are all related to industrialization. And interestingly, that's when we saw the rise in volunteerism, where we finally had a need for volunteers was with industrialization. Back when it was more of an agrarian society, there was more mutual help and self-aid groups. And then as we became separated and suburbanized, there was a need for volunteerism to develop, to address needs. And so those are some of the very needs that we're addressing, is the industrial food system that perpetuates the worst cruelty on animals. And it's the same industrial food system that keeps people obese and contributes to rising rates of obesity. Wow,
it's all tied together. So tell me, what is Northwest Veg doing? I mean, I know this, I know your mission. What you have lots of events, you have lots of programs, you have classes. You have classes. Tell me about the classes that you have.
So I've mentioned Master Vegetarian Program and Veg 101 already. Veg 101 is a 6-week program. It's for beginners or beyond. Every class includes a presentation as well as a cooking demonstration. What we have on screen now is a cooking demonstration at one of our Veg 101 classes by David Gaby. Here's another cooking demo. I mean, when you see that, don't you just want to go
looks good.
sign up for Veg 101 today?
It does look good. It does.
So there's always a presentation and a cooking demo in Veg 101. The topics covered in the presentations include health, nutrition, factory farming, as we were talking about, and the environmental impact of choosing a vegan diet. The Master Vegetarian Program covers a lot of the same topics, but in more detail, and also goes into the subject of how to be an activist, how to communicate with people without pushing your viewpoints on them, and meeting people on the common ground, where they are the common ground that you can find with them in order to teach something new.
I like that. I like that idea that you're doing it that way, because so many people are passionate about certain things in their lives, but they also turn people off by being too passionate. You know, they're not seeing it from the other person's point of view or trying to understand where they're coming from. So that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yes. And I feel that a vegan diet has the goals are so similar. The common ground with so many other causes. If you're an environmentalist, you have a reason to choose plant-based food choices or choose vegan meals, however you want to phrase it. Right. If you care about animals, you know, if you love your pet, then you have a reason to choose plant-based or vegan meals.
And if you care about your health
or
the health of others,
or the health of others, there's so much common ground. Even in some spiritual traditions, you'll hear that there's the karma from eating the animal that was killed in a certain way. So we have a common ground there too.
Interesting.
And what
Good
we
point.
can do is provide a lot more information and hands-on skills and camaraderie through classes as well. In our Master Veg program, you know, because we cover the subjects in more detail, it's an 8-week program, and then it has a 16-hour volunteer requirement. So people tend to bond more.
I bet they do.
In that
I
class.
bet you make some good friends. Yeah, probably some lifelong friends. Okay, so you have the classes and workshops. You also, I understand, have potlucks. Is that right?
Yes.
Tell me about the potlucks, because I've seen pictures of those. Those look fun. I think we have some pictures of that. Tell me about those.
So we have monthly potlucks in Portland. We alternate between the west side and the east side every other month. Okay. We try to make it more convenient depending on where people live. Here on screen we have a picture of one of our larger potlucks. I believe that was Thanksgiving potluck with a big long spread there. That one was definitely Thanksgiving. We had our largest Thanksgiving potluck ever this past year, over 200 people. That's a lot of people.
Wow. And where do you hold that?
The Thanksgiving potluck varies from year to year, and like I said, the Portland potlucks alternate between west side and east side. And if you go to our website, nwveg.org, all the most up-to-date information about our events, potlucks, and everything else will be on there, including location.
Nice.
We also have a potluck off of the last Thursday of the month in Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if the Longview, Washington potluck is on a regular schedule, but there's one there as well.
And all that information can be found on your website.
And it's all on the website, yes.
So the potluck, how do people know what they're getting? What if somebody is a vegetarian but not a vegan and they bring a vegetarian dish? How do people know what to do?
Well, we ask that everybody bring vegan meals only, and that includes no honey.
Oh, okay.
Just to be respectful of everybody's choices, and we ask that you include a recipe card.
Oh, so people know what
the
ingredients are. So people know
what they're getting.
Yeah, if they have an allergy to something, a nut or something, then that's on there. Oh, that's good. Okay. Now, I know dine out. I was reading too about a dine out thing now, and that's where you go to restaurants. Is that right?
Yes. If you
that really appealed to me. I like to eat out a lot,
so if you're not the type of person who wants to make a meal to bring to a potluck, you can still get together with like-minded people and go to one of the wonderful vegan restaurants around town.
So do you just pick, like, is it every month or is it every few months? Do you know how often they have the dine out?
You know, I think we try to have it every month, but again, as an all volunteer-run organization, it's
you do what you can, right?
Yes.
So you pick a restaurant in the area, in the metro area, I assume, that is a vegan restaurant, and then just like reserve space there, or
exactly.
Yeah,
and get
then
together.
I imagine you have to have RSVP, so you know how many people. That sounds like fun.
So and often you will find those restaurants at our Veg Fest event in September. That's our biggest. We have a number of special events, but Veg Fest is our largest.
So do you want to tell me about Veg Fest now? Because I know that is a huge thing, and that's actually where I first heard about Northwest Veg, is when you had Veg Fest back several years ago in Benson High School. And I read about it, and I was trying to go that year, and I wasn't able to go. And I haven't been yet, but I'm really hoping to go this year. It's in September, isn't it?
It is September 17th and 18th.
Okay.
The whole weekend. There's a picture from our 2006 Veg Fest, which was a whole lot smaller from the whole lot smaller than the nearly 4,000 people we had last year at the Oregon Convention Center.
So will it be at the Convention Center again?
Yes, we'll be in exactly the same exhibit hall. So anyone who's been to Veg Fest last year knows where to find us again this year.
Okay, good. So what all goes on at Veg Fest?
Veg Fest brings together top speakers in the area of plant-based nutrition.
You know, Robert Cheek, who was a guest here before, who's a vegan bodybuilder, he was a speaker, wasn't he, at last year's event, I believe?
He did the emceeing and announcing.
Oh, he did the emceeing. Okay, I knew he was there. I was trying to remember what he did. Oh, okay, that's great.
This year, our keynote speaker is Neil Bernard.
Okay, tell me about Neil.
21-day kickstart.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So he's one of the MDs that is one of the greatest proponents for a plant-based diet.
Good.
We also have hundreds of different free food samples at Veg Fest. That's probably the biggest attraction for anyone.
Yeah, it would be. Oh, I like free food.
So we have speakers, we have cooking demos, we have exhibitors. This year we're trying to do the best we can to make things interesting for the younger crowd. So children's activities, every year we have children's activities, but we're trying to do even more this year. And activities for teens who don't necessarily fit real well in the children's area. They need a thing of their own. So we're trying to engage teens and young adults in first of all telling us what they're interested in seeing and then organizing some of the activities. Okay. So if any teens or young adults are watching, or any parents who have kids who might be interested, maybe they're just trying out a vegetarian diet for the first time, please contact us.
Wouldn't it, to really check it out?
I think you have a slide with the contact information. I can be emailed at volunteer@nwveg.org.
And are you looking for volunteers for that event? Do you need, I bet you would need a lot of volunteers for that.
Yes, Veg Fest is our greatest volunteer need, over 300 volunteers every year, and the more volunteers, the better we can make the event. For example, recycling is always one of our greatest needs. We try to have a very eco-friendly green event and compost as much as possible. The convention center is very supportive of that.
Good deal.
This year we have a master recycler volunteer working with us to coordinate everything.
I've talked to a lot of them at different events, and they used to do that.
But of course, when it comes down to it, you really need people standing there and telling people where to put their waste. Is it compost, is it recycling, or is it trash? And for that, we need a lot of people. We could do a lot better job of making it a greener event. Nice. Maybe not the most exciting volunteer role, but you know what? A 3-hour shift gets you 2 days free admission to Veg Fest.
And all that free food too.
Exactly.
So, and you're in charge of all the volunteers, right? That is your job.
I am the volunteer coordinator. I do have a support network of other volunteers helping me with the volunteer coordination.
But you're the head honcho on this thing, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, the Veg Fest again is September 17th and 18th at the Oregon Convention Center. Okay.
Check out nwveg.org.
Okay, and we can't say prices on the air, but it's really inexpensive, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
And $1 coupons will be everywhere.
Okay, good.
Newspapers, website, look for the $1 coupon.
Good. It was pretty well publicized last year, I think. You guys did a pretty good job of getting the word out about it. Now, besides the Veg Fest, which is your biggest thing, you also have a race, Race for the Animals. Tell me about that.
Coming up this month. That is this month. Okay. Next biggest special event is Race for the Animals. Last year, it drew more than 200 runners for the first event. So this year, we're expecting it to be even better.
And Portland's a big running community. I bet that will grow and grow as the word gets out about it.
And especially since we've been waiting so long for the sun to show up.
Yes. So. Oh my goodness, I guess.
Hopefully by June 25th we'll have sun. Here's a picture from last year's Race for the Animals.
Now, where is that? What is the where's the location?
It's in Forest Park.
Oh, nice.
And I have brought my cheat sheet to tell you exactly where. Of course, it's on the website. Again, that's the best place to go.
Forest Park is huge, but at least we know about where that is.
Yes.
Well, so that'll be fun, and that would be a great place for a race. I don't know if they have.
There's a 5K and a 10K. I really thought I had written down more information.
I imagine people, if they wanted to walk along real fast, they could speed walk through that too.
Right, and you don't have to be a runner.
Okay.
There's a registration cost. And there's T-shirt sales.
That's all to support Northwest
And it all supports our educational programs, like our outreach events, where we do a lot of tabling and introduce people.
Tell me about that. Tell me about the outreach events that you have going on.
So you can find us at a lot of community events around town, festivals, farmers markets. We have a table, and we have a banner that says Northwest Veg. At that table, we provide information about our upcoming events, but also information handouts from Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine about different veg issues where you might have a question.
Okay, and so if you could use volunteers, I imagine, to table at events too.
Exactly. That is our greatest volunteer need.
That's a really fun thing to do. I do a lot of tabling for Metro East Community Media here and KZME Radio, and I think it's just a fun thing to do because you get to go to fun events, meet great people, just kind of schmooze with people, let them know what it is you're passionate about, and impart information. And it's just a fun thing to do. It's an easy volunteer thing to do.
It's a great opportunity. It's so much fun to meet people. We do have a volunteer, we call our folks who do the tabling Community Outreach Champions, and we're going to have a Community Outreach Champion workshop, volunteer workshop on July 17th. I think we've decided on 2:30 to 4:30. That is just prior to the July potluck and presentation. So 3 great reasons to check out Northwest Veg on the 17th. Come do a volunteer training, stay for the potluck and the presentation.
That sounds great. You have a lot going on. Northwest Veg has been very busy.
It is very busy.
Now, you've been there about a year, is that right?
Coming up on a year in July.
Yeah, boy, you really jumped in with both feet, didn't you? So, yes. We don't have a whole lot of time left, but tell me, how did you get involved in this? I mean, have you been a vegetarian or vegan for a long time, or is this a recent passion of yours? Can you tell me about that?
Well, I'm a homeschooling parent of 5, and I guess when my 2 oldest were young is when I first started thinking about vegetarian diet. I mean, obviously food became a whole lot more important. So when I was a college student, it was food was something you picked up in the cafeteria between classes.
Right, just to keep you going.
It didn't mean much, and I remembered from my mother, eat your vegetables.
Yes.
That was about the extent of my nutrition education. So obviously that became very different having children. I became a lot more focused on what were the best things to feed my children, and also we read a lot of books with animals in them, even if they were animated animals. I just couldn't face the little chicken and the cow anymore. It was in their picture books. Yeah. So we've had a journey. So I have 5 kids, and everyone's got their own mind, and a husband who's a meat eater. But at this point, I would say we are eating, with the exception of my husband, the kids and I are eating 95% of our meals vegan.
Okay.
And I'm closer to 100%.
Okay. Interesting. So, and how old are your kids now? Are they?
They're between the ages of 8 and 15.
Okay, so they've been growing up with that. Interesting. So that is a journey, isn't it?
And some of them are real outspoken advocates.
Is that right?
They are.
Good for them. Good for them. Well, we're just about out of time now, Annie, and I really enjoyed hearing about this because I had no idea you had so many things going on at Northwest Veg. Yeah. So I hope people, if they're interested, even if they have just a little interest in it and want to find out more, it's such a great organization to impart that information. So they can check you out at the Veg Fest in September, or at the potlucks, the workshops, the race for the animals. Everything can be found on your website.
Veg Fest.
Yes, please come to Veg Fest. I'm really going to try to make it this year. I'm anxious to do that. So.
And don't forget, 3 hours of volunteering gets you into both days for free.
And that's not much of a commitment.
And that is not much of a commitment. You will enjoy it. The volunteering will be fun. If you think you want to volunteer for tabling, definitely send me an email. Or sign up for Race for the Animals on the 25th, and we'll look forward to meeting you there.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks so much for being here tonight.
Thank you, Monica.
Thanks for watching this segment of Community Hotline. We're glad you joined us tonight. And if you're interested, if you have questions about Northwest Veg, you want to make some comments, be part of the conversation, you can go on our Community Hotline blog. Also, be sure to check us out on Facebook and like us there. We'd love to hear from you. This segment of Community Hotline is over, but we will be back here next week, so please be sure to join us then. This is Monica Weitzel. Thanks for watching. Remember, you can take part in the discussion online. Visit our blog and tell us about your experiences at communityhotline.wordpress.com. And don't forget to take a look at our Facebook page too. You can see what's going on behind the scenes, find out about fun contests we're running, and link to some of the great organizations that have been on at facebook.com/communityhotline Metro East. See you online.
Many people are aware of the problems of hunger and poverty, but few realize how severe these issues are in East County. Every winter we find hungry and homeless people on our streets. Here at SNOCAP, we combat these problems by bringing together the people who have with those who have not. SNOCAP is a nonprofit organization dedicated to serving the needs of low-income persons living in the East Metro area. With the help of community members and the support of local businesses, SNOCAP feeds over 4,000 people per month and distributes clothing to more than 1,000 people per month. You can help SNOCAP by donating your time, donating food or clothing, or making a financial contribution. To find out more, contact SNOCAP at 503-674-8785 or on the web at www.snowcap.org.